this special gathering this Saturday. My name is Sandeep Kalra, and I have the honor of serving as Director of Learning and Events, vertical at ICF Mumbai Charter Chapter. And today, the greater privilege of being your host. I'm delighted to share this stage with my co host, Dexter Wallace, our Director of Communities of Practice, as together we open the door for the special gathering for this half day virtual event. On the eve of our 10th anniversary, we planted a seed of collaboration with the 12 chapters across the globe. Today, we stand here witnessing that seed blossom into something much larger, a tree of impact that reaches far beyond boundaries. The proof is before us. Over 200 participants have registered from 41 cities, of which 25 are overseas. This isn't just about numbers, it is about the spirit of connection, the flow of ideas, and the strength of a global community coming together. And the beauty of this collaboration shines even brighter when we look at our speakers. Out of the four voices we will hear today, three come from our overseas collaborating chapters. Truly, this is a moment that reflects what we can achieve when we embrace collaboration without borders. At ICF Mumbai Charter Chapter, we believe our true purpose lies in serving what our members genuinely seek, guided by ICF's global vision. We aspire to create a vibrant community where every coach feels supported, inspired, and empowered. Our mission is not just to enhance careers, but to enrich lives by making the coaching journey more meaningful, impactful, and fulfilling. We strive to bring this vision to life by creating ongoing culturally relevant opportunities for our members to connect, learn, network, and contribute through volunteering. Each of these experiences designed to strengthen not only individual growth, but also the collective spirit of our coaching community. And that's what we keep striving for today. This journey of cultivating trust and connection would not have been possible without the unconditional support of our members and the wider audience, whose active participation brought out the very best in every session. This event today on holistic coaching, nurturing mind, body, and spirit, is yet another effort to help everyone expand their impact and facilitate profound, lasting change for their clients. So let me now invite Sanjeev Bhatia, President ICF Mumbai Charter Chapter, whose vision and energy continue to guide these Beyond 10 series of events, to greet you all and set the tone for the day with his infectious positivity. Sanjeev, over to you.
Thanks, Sandeep, for the great work for organizing this event. I welcome distinguished colleagues, fellow coaches, and the leaders in this noble profession called coaching. It is a privilege to be here today to reflect on expanding your inner impact by coaching the whole person. At its heart lies a simple yet profound truth that we are not coaching a problem, a role, or a title. We are coaching a wholesome human being. When we walk whole with our client, we see fullness of their experience, their values, emotions, aspirations, doubts, and dreams. They're not just executive or the professionals. They are human beings navigating their life's complexities. Coaching the whole human being means honoring both the visible and the invisible, the rational and intuitive, the heads and the hearts.
Big basket under kasali.
This brings us to the sacred space of coaching. Each time a client enters the space, they bring their deepest reflections, their vulnerabilities, and their emerging hopes. Our responsibility is to hold the space that honors the fullness who they are. True coaching space integrates the mind, body, and the spirit. We listen not only to the words, but to the pause, postures, the tone, and the silence too. That is what we have been taught. Insights does not arise from intellect alone. It emerges when the body feels safe, the spirit feels seen, and the mind is free to expand, and that is all the coaches they know about it. In such a space, the client discovers what they are not, that they are not fragmented beings, they are whole, the resourceful, and the creative. And that recognition lies in their greatest potential. But to hold this space for others, we must also anchor ourselves. The whole person coaching is not a technique, as per me, is the way of being a coach. It calls us to ask, am I present? Am I listening deeply? Am I serving? That is essential when it is unspoken. And some of us are really trying hard to do that.
Mm.
Our inner compass keeps us aligned with humility, presence, and the curiosity. It reminds us that transformation does not come from our advices, we all know that, but from the client's own discovery. And it helps us trust the process even when the destination or results is not even yet visible. When we coaches, or when we coach rather, from this compass, we also illuminate the inner compass of our client. We touch not their goals, but their values,
Mm.
their integrity, their sense of purpose. This is what enables leaders to navigate storm with steadiness and success with humility. And finally, let us reflect on leadership. Today, the leadership is not defined by authority. It's defined by influence, inclusion, and impact. Research affirms that we see in practice leaders are self aware, emotionally intelligent, and value driven that build stronger organization and healthier culture. See what's happening in
Mm.
Nepal for just in case, as a case, where the value driven person has been identified by Gen Zs and been made the interim prime minister. That's the impact I'm talking about. As a coach, we catalyze this growth. We do not push leaders harder to help them listen deeper to themselves, to their dreams, to their teams, and to
Mm.
systems they serve. The whole person coaching allows them to align the vision with values, to lead with empathy, and to make decisions that drive not just the short term results, but long term and sustainable impact. The science is clear. Leaders who are coached in this way inspire trust, foster resilience, and expand their legacy to impact. So, in summary, it's all about walking the whole, holding the sacred space, living by our inner compass, and coaching leaders to expand their impact. These are not separate practices, they are the threads of the same tapestry. And all these four topics will be covered today by our seasoned speakers joining from across the globe, and I welcome them all with my open heart. Together, they affirm the coaching is not a transaction, but a profound human partnership, a partnership that has the power not just to change the individual, but to shape the future of leadership and, in turn, the future of our own world. I would like to thank Sandeep Kala and Dexter Wallace and the rest of my managing committee for the hard work behind this today's workshop and to bring the galaxy of speakers from across the world. Thank you very much to my team. Thank you all of you have joined, and a warm welcome to my speakers who are going to make this session a wonderful experience for all of us. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Sanjeev, for your profound reflections and which has set the tone for this half-day virtual event in the best possible manner. It is, yes, not looking at the problem, but looking the person as a whole. And it is the being of the coach which can actually help leader transform. And we are talking of transforming leaders as coaches, then it is about helping them create a larger impact. And that is what, Sanjeev, you have been a role model when we talk in terms of creating larger impact through this 10th anniversary celebration. Thank you once again. So, ladies and gentlemen, we look forward to an engaging and enriching session with all of you. As you join, you have already announced in the chat box. Those of you who have not, you may please mention where you're connecting from. We are pleased to share that for today's session, you will all receive 4.5 core competencies. And with this, we have crossed the cumulative number of 46 CCUs, which we at ICF Mumbai Charter Chapter have been able to deliver through series of 6 half-day, full-day events under the Beyond 10 series and 9 webinars. We will post a claim form towards the end of the session to claim your CCUs. And it'll also be emailed to you after the webinar, but we'll encourage in case if you can fill it up here only. You will get 2 days to fill up the claim form, that is till 15th of September, to make your claims. And participants who are eligible and have attended 80% of the time will receive their CCUs by 27th September 2025. I repeat it again that it'll take about 2 weeks' time for us to send it. With me and Dexter in the hosting team, I have Nandini Agaskar. Nandini works very closely with the ICF Mumbai Charter Chapter Managing Committee. A few hygiene pointers: keep yourself off camera and be on mute. And then I'll request Nandini to ensure that everyone is on mute so that the focus remain on the speakers. This is to avoid disruption in the transmission also. During the session, if you have a burning question, please put it in the chat box, and Dexter will share with our speakers or curate them for the Q&A segment, which is during and at the end of each session. We will also request all the participants to come on camera for a group photo immediately after the masterclass before we break. And so that we would not like to miss on capturing your smiles. For those who wish to claim CCUs, we'll post a link, and that we have already covered. So now we come to the theme and the topic straight. So ladies and gentlemen, today marks the 6th milestone in our Beyond 10 series, an year-long celebration of 10 impactful years of the ICF Mumbai Charter Chapter, which completed a glorious decade in March 2025. Each month, through virtual and in-person gatherings, we have been coming together to celebrate coaching and deepen our collective learning. And today we focus on something deeply meaningful: holistic coaching. So over the next few hours, we will journey together through an insightful keynote, a powerful masterclass, and a deeply reflective fireside chat, culminating in a closing masterclass session with one of the most respected global voices in coaching and leadership. Here's a brief glimpse of what's ahead. In a few moments from now, at about 10 a.m., we begin with our opening keynote, Walking Whole, The Power of Coaching the Whole Human by Maleha Alfoudary, President of ICF Kuwait chapter, an eminent global thought leader in inclusive coaching leadership. At 10:35, we move into our opening masterclass, Sacred Spaces, Holding Mind, Body, Spirit, Awareness in Coaching, a mesmerizing session facilitated by the incredible coach, Nikka Santos from ICF Philippines. After a short reflection and stretch break, we convene at 12:20, at around 12:20, the fireside chat with the veteran master coach Subhash CV on Inner Compass, reflections on whole person coaching. And finally, at about 1:10, we are honored to welcome Dr. Jeffrey Hull, global coach, author, and Howard affiliated thought leader, who will deliver the closing masterclass, The Science of Leadership, How to Coach Leaders to Expand Their Impact. We'll wrap up at around 2:15 p.m. with reflections in closing the circle, reflections, realizations, and resonance, which I'll make an attempt to stitch it together. And let me now take the privilege to introduce our keynote speaker. We are so privileged to have Maleha Alfoudary, the president of ICF Kuwait chapter, as our keynote speaker today. Maleha is an eminent global thought leader in wholesome inclusive coaching leadership. She's a passionate organizational well-being coach and an ICF Prism Award winner. Maleha also heads the Kuwait Oil Sector Coaching Culture Committee. So please join me in giving a virtual warm welcome as she shares her wisdom with us today. Welcome, Maleha.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Sandeep. Really, thank you for the invitation, Mr. Sanjeev. I'm really, so thank you, Nandini. Thank you, Dexter. Really honored. And I just told Sandeep that all coaches around the world, it's a privilege for them to be in Mumbai chapter. Really, what you are doing is a great initiative toward the world through coaching. It's my honor to be with you. Thank you all. Attendance in the morning of Saturday, and inshallah, you're gonna have what Nikki said, fun and great time and quality time of learning. I will inshallah share presentation now. Okay, can see the slides. Coaching the whole person. If I can say, it is coaching the brain, because the leader of all our action, it happened in this marvelous organ. First, I would like to qualify who's the leader. During my work, 32 years in government and Kuwait oil sector, we took so many courses and roles, but it's not, as Mr. Sanjeev said, not by title. It is require a lot of things. Then what is holistic coaching? Then how can we put it into practice? What my intention for this presentation is to change one person to be more positive through coaching, more happy. And I will put like evidence base how some interventions can change lives through changing the awareness about it. And then some of the resources. I don't want to put anything that ChatGPT can provide you. So my intention was to put a lesson learned from these 32 years. I've studied civil engineering and worldwide civil engineering, and I figure after 32 years, I don't like engineering. Sorry for engineers, but I like psychology more. So I have intention to put coaching in schools for these students to choose what's their destiny in life. And also to keep learning. I'm now a student in RCSI for studying the Master in Positive Health Coaching, to keep learning. What I'm specialized in well-being in organization. Now, coaching culture is the tool for well-being culture. I always start with Randy Pausch. He is a doctor. He was a doctor in Carnegie Mellon University, and they have the last lecture program. If you are telling your student or your employee, you want to tell them, as that was your last lecture, what is going to convey through this presentation. Dr. Randy, he discovered that he has a cancer before the lecture, and he died after the lecture. That was really the last lecture. What he is saying, and it has 21 million views, he is saying that happiness in pursuing childhood dreams. And it's very nice. So I always say, if this is my last lecture in Mumbai chapter, what I want to convey, how can I change lives? And really, second moment or second hour is not guaranteed. Everything we seek for is temporary. We are temporary. So what's going to remain? What's our legacy? I will take, now we have more than 80. I will take half an hour, 30 minutes from your life. In our culture, I'm responsible. I'll be asked, what did you deliver by taking 30 minutes of more than 80 person alive? Some of the people are attending, they will take it as a nice thing to know. Some people, they will apply, and some people, they will get result, inshallah. Now, what is the PQ for a leader? He listen. It's very obvious in the meeting to know who's the leader, who's talking less. If he's talking more, he's not the one. He's not the leader. He eat last. If there is bonus, if there is committees, if there is traveling, if there is opportunities, he give his employee. He does not take everything for him. That's what creates trust in the employee. He is not biased for what motivates his employee. I had an employee, he arranged an open day by the manager. We're in the tent in the desert. He arranged everything. And for the 170 employee, the manager called him, give him very expensive watch as a reward. And he came to my office. I always put this example. He was sad. So what's wrong? It's an expensive watch. He said, I wish he gave me thank you card. I told him, thank you card, only 50 KD, this mobile, 500 KD. He said, everybody will know when he enter my office that I did the hard work. If I wear the watch, no one will know. He gave me a lesson that please ask your employee what motivates them. Is it money? Is it more responsibility? Is it encouragement? Is it thank you card? So you don't waste your resources. You give watch who the one you need the watch, and thank you card who the one wants thank you card. Who's the leader? Whose employee at Saturday night or Sunday night, they feel anxious to go tomorrow to work. This is the culture of any company. How's your employee feeling? Before they apply for a leave, are they happy? When they come, are they happy? This is the definition of leadership. This is a message I put it from one of the employee. I retired for a few months, and this is, he sent it few days, he said, I said, well, why he's sending me after 1 year a message? He mentioned very important things. He was happy coming to work and he was safe. He was safe coming to work. I have his back, anything. He can do mistake. There is psychological safety in the place. No name, no blame. This type of character, leader should know what is his employee character. Now, this is, I studied and certified in 15 hours. Maybe in the future we can explain that, because when you know your employee type, you can put him in the right place. Don't put social employee in making reports and doing activities opposite to his type. Just put the people where the character calling them. Leader has a growth mindset. If a leader say, I know everything, I don't need Gen Z to tell me how to deal with my work, he is not a leader. He is always learning, always vulnerable. It's okay for him to make mistakes. The power of not yet. Carol Dole, she gave also a lecture in RCSI, very interesting. She said, well, I went to the school, one school, they don't have F failing score. They have not yet. And they shift the mind of the student. They don't say I failed in this subject. They said not yet. So there is opportunity that I will pass. So students, they are saying, how many not yet you are having? This is a positive mind. You never fail. We only learn from the mistakes. He has vision to do. If nothing change, you don't have a leader. If everything is we are doing the same, this is repetitive experience, not cumulative experience, we don't have a leader. He has values. He does not take the effort and present it by his name. He doesn't lie. And when an employee seeing you lying, forget about the trust. They will never trust you. Coaching culture is the way we speak and the way we listen and the way we think. It is the way we do things in our organization. We think like a leader, we believe in people, we speak like a leader, we ask, we don't tell, and we listen like a leader. We listen to the whole person. Holistic coaching, it is still powerful conversation between two parts, called a client, employee, a friend. So we are believing in the whole person with a change come from inside, from the agenda of the client. If we are working on the person or on the brain, we are having a long-term development process, not solving the problem. We are changing the way he's looking at it. I don't believe in problems. There's only a learning process. I don't like even to use the problem word in coaching. So we are different. There is no one size fits all. Every coaching session is different. Every person is different. Every person is unique. One of the researchers, very interesting, in 2022, when they put the device on the brain and they have three options. Either he is solving the issue, either he was given advice, or he was coached, he was being coached. So they measure how much the brain activities during coaching. It's very clear. Coaching works through science proven. In every model in coaching, mainly what's happening, what do you want, what's the goal, and why you need it. And we have to work hard on the why, because this is the motivation part in the process. And where are you now from this goal, and then how are we going to reach there? The holistic include physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, social, nature, and this is my favorite part, nature, well-being, career, and financial. For the physical, what we put inside our lives and brain and hearts, what do we eat, what do we drink, how do we move this machine we are taking care of. If I tell you we're going to have a car for the rest of your life, you're going to take care of this car. So we're going to have a body that's holding us. We have to take care about it. Sleeping, connect with nature. Sun is having effect on us. Also, what actives you have to, like minerals and vitamins, and maintain your vehicle. One of the activities we can do on the coaching question, when was the last time you played? Please put in the chat, when was the last time you played? Just think, any activity you played with your family, with your children, with your friends, with your colleagues, when was the last time you played? And also you can use that in your team. Some of the activities good to do, like walking. If you are 2 or 3 persons, you can do walking, and science proves that it is a creative process. This is some of the question for the physical. Mental, now, the brain acts perfectly during having goal. It is good to have goal. What do you want in life? What's your legacy? Even in family, you don't have to change the world. Change yourself and your family and your friends. Mindfulness is very good for the brain. Gratitude is proven. Journaling, connect with nature, digital detoxing, especially these years, and having a pet. Also, sleeping affect your brain. When we studied the positive health in RCSA, they gave us this book, 400 pages. I said, if someone wrote 400 pages about sleep, the sleep is important, I'm going to sleep. So it's really important that we reformat what's happened in the morning through the night. This is very good source also. I intended this presentation to give you. This is a course in Kenya. It's also we did it last, before 2 months, and in the nature. And also this is a course I took, coaching outdoors, 2 levels. The effect of nature in our coaching. How much important in RCSI now, they secure 5.5 million euro to do 3 years research, how the effect of nature on student. So please take your employee outdoor, take your client outdoor. I decided that I will never do coaching indoor if I have opportunity to do it outdoor. So one of the assignments is doing mindfulness before coaching session, how to affect the brain, how bring the presence of the client in the session to do more awareness and effective sessions. Coaching, also connecting with nature for students, connecting, proven. Digital detox now, the title or the phrase brain rot through the excessive dopamine of in the brain during to this scrolling in social media, affecting love relation, marriage relation, children relation. They have all the happiness hormone. They don't need anything from others, so it's very dangerous. This is questions for mental well-being. Emotional, you have to be aware of yourself and people around you. If I recommend one thing for employee or even parents or even friends, please study emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence save you in work and in every aspect in life. Giving is good for the brain. Keep empathy, be positive. It's the best thing you do. You will never age with positivity. Be present. we have only this moment. If you are in the present or in the present, the future, if you are in the future or in the past, you are not living. Do your hobby, you're gonna be happy. Hobby, you're gonna be happy, and do self-compassion. Be kind to yourself before people. So presence, very important. What is your activity before the coaching session? Are you doing mindfulness? Are you in the moment? You are not thinking. You are regulating your brain. You are bringing all your mind to the session. Sometimes I hear the clients say, and some of the demos, well, I mentioned this before. That means the coaches wasn't there. He wasn't present. He didn't hear it. That's very evidence that there's no presence. The reward of the present, that client will be open and you gain his trust. This is some of the emotional coaching question. For the social, just be mindful that to give quality time, to use the time, not gathering and just using your mobile. Join a community, volunteer, do group activities, go into mentorship program or be part of mentoring others. And also when you are socializing, please listen. Listen. You learn a lot from listening. We know what we know. We don't have to talk. But from listening, we can learn from others. This is a part of the, they call it STAR team in Kuwait National Petroleum Company to volunteer. And I learned from this blind child, he called Abdul Wahab. He's looked my son, I never forget his name. My son called Abdul Wahab. He was so happy, although he was blind, he wanted to be a fireman. And that worry really making my problem small in life. What is problem of this young child? He is so eager to be a fireman without even able to look. Group activities, well, this is also one of the activities we did in Kenya before 2 months. That's you can use it with your employee or even family. Put an envelope and someone write encouraging word. At the end of the month, we can see these positive words that make really magic. This is if you can make, if you want, can use it to do team building. Very important if you are starting a project, do team building. This is in Japan that they do cooking, they play, they go Shinrin-yoku activities, bathing in the forest for oxygen. And be aware, please, for energy level. Who's giving you energy? Who's taking your energy? This is the social. How I'm not seeing the time. Dexter, please, how many minutes I have left?
Another 15 minutes, Dexter.
Okay. Yeah, okay. Mr. Dexter, he said, if you can have like 6 slides, I told him I have 60 slides.
Sorry, no worries. We have at least 10 minutes.
Sorry. I just want to give as much as I can information for the great people.
Now we look at slides and the way they are moving with the way you're speaking. So it's really nice. Thank you.
Spiritually, really, what's the meaning or your meaning in life? Why you're here? Why God bring you here to earth? What is your message? What's your connection? So we encourage you to, if you have like a prayer, do it, spiritual reading, spiritual activity, connect with your God, attend the gathering, fast if you can, it's good for the health, do mindful eating, in our culture, what you eat affect the brain, like some of the food mentioned, figs, olive oil, ginger, pumpkin. So some of the food, why we ask, why God mentioned these foods? So be mindful what's the effect of the food on your body. Part is forgiveness. Forgiveness is not for the other person. Forgiveness is for you. Peace of mind. I have no hard feeling for anyone in the world because it's good for me. It's good for my brain. It's good for my heart. Hate, envy, all these, I say evil actions, eating us, not eating anyone else. Also reflecting mortality, because we have a limited time. We're not staying forever. We are temporary. Even what we hold is temporary. It's going to be transferred for our children. So what do we want to do mindfully, intentionally in the remaining time? Sometimes I use cards for grief coaching and taking a lesson when we see like cemetery or someone dead. This is a message. We are coming. We are the next one. So what are we going to do in the remaining time? These are some of the questions for coaching in spiritual subject. Nature, my favorite. Nature, so important. We have to connect with nature daily if we can. Gardening is good for the brain. Walking in nature is good for the health. They teach us in RCSI, please have a tree friend. We don't have so much trees in Kuwait, but in India, I'm sure you have so many trees. If you can find one and go and talk to the friend and touch the tree, it takes all the negative energy and take all the. It's something. We are nature. We don't live in nature. We are part of nature. Sunset, sunrise, good for the brain. It's proven by science, and we have responsibility to nature. We cannot damage nature. Food that is good for some organs similar to this. This is wasn't just coincidence. So we are part of nature. We're not part, we are nature. One of the positive people I've met in life, Dr. Christian van Newberg in RCSI, one of the best leaders, coaches around the world. He represents positivity. It's very important also. This is down here, this is all his books. Connecting with positive people really affect your life. These some of the resources for the researcher prove that nature is important, and watching the sunset and sunrise is good for the brain, proven. Even the birds, if you listen to the birds, even if it's ringtone in your mobile, it is good for your brain. I put the link for that. One of the courses in India I wanted to attend, inshallah I will attend. Although it's like for ACC level, but I want to attend for the interesting information. It's a company called Kocharia. Very interesting. What we learn from nature and leadership. What type of activities, action by some animals that teach us leadership. The wolf, how this is building, team building. The chameleon, how this is doing risk management. So very interesting. I wanted to mention that they do it through Ask Nature. Also coaching question for nature. A career, what do you want to do in life? To make money or to affect people or to be CEO? So what do you want? Just give a goal for your career and find the skills and find them a good mentor, develop asset emotional intelligence, do your portfolio on LinkedIn perfectly, and always keep learning. This is one of the courses I attend in Japan. Dr. Ananda said, new generation, they change work. So please invest in them that they can stay. Not only in knowledge, but also include them. If you don't include them, they will leave. They need to be heard. Some of the mentoring programs I did in the oil sector for new employee. Also keep learning. Don't be too much comfortable. This is coaching question for the career. Financial, check, be aware of your budget, do some skills to plan, do short target for your financial. This is part also I recommend for well-being an employee, bring them consultant, don't wait until they retire. Learn what you need to learn for spending wisely. And please, this is very important, when it's enough. Don't waste your life searching for only money and then you will leave it. You will leave it. So what else than money you can? Yeah. It's not all life. They tell you, okay, just how to get money, how to be poor dad for a rich dad. No, just think when is enough to enjoy your life and don't. Yani, be aware, be intentional that I will use this money for my family, for society, for giving back. Coaching question for financial. These are some resources for connecting with nature and leadership and mindfulness and positive health. And just please remember, everyone in life has a situation that we know nothing about, but we know that we can be kind to support. This is one of the leaves. It's a big leaf. I have it now also. Bring it from Kenya. I wrote my age, 56 last year. It's now 57. So I want intentionally to remain enjoying the lift of the green. I am aware most of the life is gone. I intentionally to enjoy. So I really, my last thing I want to say, please invest in love in organization. People, they don't forget how much you treated them, how did you make them feel. Enjoy your remaining time. I like photography. I took photography. I'm writing my book about coaching in picture. So these are my connection, inshallah, to connect with you, Owen. And thank you so much for your valuable time. You have any question? Am I on time, Dexter?
Very much, exactly as you told us, in fact.
Yeah, and we are so grateful to you, Maleha,
Thank you.
for the truly profound and inspiring keynote address. Walking whole. And in these 30 minutes, you have enriched everyone's life so much through your very well-researched slides and reflection. It reminds us that coaching is not about fixing fragments, but about honoring the entire human being and how they can be better leaders and how can coaches help them to be better leaders, their emotion, their values, connectivity with the nature and volunteering. What struck me the most is the invitation to see the human as a whole and beyond their roles and labels, to create spaces where authenticity and wholeness can flourish. As Maleha beautifully emphasized, we acknowledge the deep work which is being done by you in promoting the coaching culture. And your exposition also demonstrated how you must have been doing it. Let's carry this wisdom into our practices, our conversations, and our communities, so that every coaching interaction becomes an act of honoring humanity at its fullest and transforming leaders. do we have any questions now? We have time for.
I just want to add to what you're saying, Sandeep. I think such a powerful example you've given of Randy Posh, whose last lecture, which he said is, I'm really making this last lecture for my kids who will never see me again. And he says, I want them to hear the wisdom of life that I have gathered, because I'm not going to be able to give it to them when they do grow up, because he says, I've spent so much of my life in everything else. So I think that was a very powerful example right at the start. And I love what you said, invest in love. And your 9 elements of PQ, which is really, really well said. And there's so many things to say, but I don't want to take time. I want anybody who has a question to ask you maybe a question before we release you to so many other things that you've got to do. So if there's anybody who wants to unmute and ask a question, please do so. Or you want to say something or contribute.
Hi, I'm Suman. I think what I'd like to say over here, Maleha, is that you've given us so much, to reflect on. So more than questions right now to you, I think there are a lot of questions I have to myself as a coach. And thank you for providing that whole body of work for us to reflect on and pick what we need to work on. So no questions, but a lot of reflection. And I think that's really powerful. So thanks a lot, Maleha.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Would anyone else like to say something?
I just want to say that, yes, thanks, Maleha, because there's something which has really opened a lot to take from the universe, be it the human, be it the other creatures of the creator, like be it the nature, human, animals, anything and everything. A lot to learn, a lot to imbibe. And of course, you talked about in India, the kind of work which has been done right now, even in the world space of coaching, about what we learn, even the innovations, what we learned from the nature. We had in our Beyond 10 series, one of the sessions on this. I wish everybody should see that. It was an in-person event, and where we talked about the nature and only nature. So thank you for bringing the same here and remind us that we have a long way to go to make this world a better world. Thank you much.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Any more comments, questions? Can you see anything in the chat box? Next, everyone is actually so mesmerized if you look at the comments in terms of the adulations.
So there are comments that says the tree friend is a wonderful concept. Give a tree a hug. When is enough is a very insightful and reflective thought. And I think there's so many things that we are all taking away. 3 things that you said about holistic coaching is the need to have powerful conversations, to prioritize the long term, and to manage transformation from the inside. I think those are such powerful anchors for holistic coaching to actually benefit the coachee and the coach. I mean, we are both in the process. We are partners.
Yeah, Dexter, I measure it how much we sit with ourselves, how much we reflect. Very important to sit with ourselves to reflect. What we are
Ourselves
doing.
and
Yeah,
also
ourselves.
with the nature.
Yeah.
These are deep reflections. And may I now request Nandini to share on the screen the certificate of appreciation for Maleha.
Thank you.
So
Thank you.
grateful to you for taking time out, and we look forward to having more of you with more time, and we'll request you to keep your diary block for Mumbai chapter in future as well. May I now request Nandini for the certificate for collaboration with ICF Kuwait chapter. That is, it is beginning of a relationship where we would like to
Yes.
learn to collaborate more in various areas and take it to the next step forward. Thank you for making this beginning with us, Maleha.
Thank you
Can
so
we
much.
share, Nandini, that certificate for ICF Kuwait chapter?
Thank you so much.
Beginning of a wonderful journey. Maleha, we look forward to strengthening it with every
Yes,
day.
inshallah.
Thank you.
Definitely. Thank you.
And may I now request Dexter Wallace to introduce our next speaker for the opening masterclass. Over to Dexter.
Thanks, Sandeep, and it's a real pleasure to welcome you, Nikka Santos. Nikka is the short form for Monica. Thank you for being with us this morning, all the way from Philippines. We've had an interesting kind of engagement that brought us to today, and I'm so glad that we are here today, and everything that we talked about and envisaged is now going to unfold. So, just to introduce you, Nikka, to everyone over here, you are a shared leadership and team coach. You are highly certified in several of these areas, senior coach practitioner, uh, always on the go from your schedule that I keep seeing. Uh, and it's I mean, you are an ICF professional certified coach, and you also have this very interesting background of journalism, media, entrepreneurship, and teaching, which you
Yeah.
bring to your practice. And this is really wonderful. So I'm sure your leadership and team coach and leadership development, team transformation must be experiencing a lot of these aspects, which probably raise the level at which it is being engaged with because of what you bring to the table. And I think you are going to give us glimpses of that because you are also holding a degree in mass communication. And who better to have over here to take us through this? You're also keen on helping people build psychological safety and team effectiveness, along with resilience and well-being, mental and emotional agility. This is, I think, a carryover of what Malaya was just talking over. So I'm so happy that you're bringing this all to the table now that Malaya has opened the door very significantly in that area for us. So thank you for helping us manage this session in which your strategic thinking capabilities is going to help present this topic to us, which could be quite fuzzy at times, but I think Maleha, laid a really nice structure. She grew a tree, and I think you're going to add fruit to the tree that Maleha grew, and can't wait to hear from you. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you, Dexter. Wow, what an introduction. But yes, I bring all that just like everyone in the room. This is part of our embodied knowledge already, right? The experiences we've had, even if they're very far removed from what we're doing now as coaches, we bring them as embodied knowledge. And Maleha really, as you said, planted the right tree. And I hope I give justice and bear fruit to her tree and continue to tend to it. And I love how she mentioned that you need to be present. We need to be kind to ourselves. And that's what I hope to bring today to this session. We not for us to learn about presence and coaching, because I think most of us in the room already know these things, but for us to experience it, at least for the next 60 or 70 minutes, if I have the time correct. So to really experience it and to enjoy the moment for ourselves, because we give so much of ourselves as coaches to our clients, to people we serve in organizations. But today I am asking everyone in this sacred space to give you this moment to yourself. As Maleha said, to be kind to yourself and to be present for yourself. Now, does that sound good for everyone? Give me an emoji or say something in the chat if this is something you're willing to do or you're excited to do. Oh, good. Lots of hearts. And then just a few housekeeping reminders. If you could take a moment, I'll give you a moment to get a pen and paper. Just so during parts of my session, I will encourage you and invite you if you'd like to journal some thoughts. With regard to the presentation, Dexter will be his usual efficient self and will send you the presentation. So don't worry, everything you see in my presentation, it will be handed to you via email after the call. I encourage you to use the chat and reaction buttons. Dexter and I think Sanjeev, maybe even Sandeep, will make sure that everybody's voice is heard through the chat. Okay, they're gentlemen. They said, no, focus on the presentation and we'll take care of the chat. So thank you very much, gentlemen. I feel very supported there. Now, let me take a moment to start sharing my screen. There you go. Share. And let me start my presentation. So I hope everybody sees it. Sacred spaces, mind, body, spirit awareness in coaching. Okay, so I'd like to start by asking everyone, knowing that today we are here to learn about and experience holistic coaching, what is your sacred intention? Take a minute, I'll be quiet. Just think about your sacred intention. And perhaps you'd like to share in the chat what is your sacred intention for today, or at least maybe for the next 60 to 70 minutes. So do we hear anything in the chat? I'd love to hear what are your sacred intentions for today.
So there's absorb, adapt, apply, live this moment in its here and now, create a positive shift in myself, move from head to heart, observe and reflect, focus on me, to be in the here and now, looking for time to reflect, some time with myself, how to be whole, to be fully present, my word. Listen, learn, reflect, learn to be aware and reflect, absorb and reflect. You are definitely growing fruit on the tree.
Beautiful. What particularly struck me was being present, being here for myself, going from head to heart, right? Maleha, we are on the right track. So thank you for sharing that. That means I will stay in the room because we are aligned. So
Certainly.
now, another moment to stop and reflect. I am going to guess this is something you don't really ask yourself. When was the last time a client's breakthrough changed something in you? So I'll be quiet for a minute. Sit with that question. When was the last time a client's breakthrough changed something in you? And if you're willing, after some quiet reflection on that, share in the chat your answer. Perhaps just a word or a phrase. Usually, we think of transforming the client. But I'd like to invite you to acknowledge that at least in my experience, and I'm guessing in your experience as well, this work of coaching transforms us as well. I think it was Sandeep, or was it Sanjeev, who mentioned that in this conversation, we are not, it's not only the client who is changed, but it is us as well. So Dexter, if there's anything interesting in the chat, do share.
Yeah, the insight that the main barrier, what the question, what if, made me feel like I have a purpose, says Anne. Jai Shankar says, every conversation leaves me transformed. Uh, Malvika says, shows me the power of empathy. Chitra says, when something about me got triggered and I needed to pause significantly to see what that was about.
Thank you.
And
Thank you for that vulnerable share.
yes, lovely. My goodness me, this is coming from experiences, so it's very nice.
Yeah.
Sanjeev says, when the client made the shift that I was not ready for.
Wow. Again, another share coming from humility and vulnerability, right? Sometimes our clients can inspire us to move towards a direction that we ourselves don't want to go to. Beautiful shares, and thank you. Anything else? Oh, this is rich. I'm learning from you.
Yes, as Sanjeev Mittal says that the coaching topic was for myself as well, which you were just saying. We learn from our coachee and from our own conversations with them.
Yes. So thank you everyone for sharing that. And the invitation for me today is for us to acknowledge that privilege that we all have with this work that we do, that we not only transform others, that in this process, we are reminded to continuously grow ourselves. So just sit with that, the gift that is being a coach. Thank you. And now, before I narrow down and focus on our learning objectives, on our learning path, as promised to Dexter, I will be sharing tools. So this is a tool that I learned from Dr. Andrew Huberman. So it's a neuroscience tool. It's called the physiological sigh. Maybe some of you already know this, but I'd like to invite everyone to join me in doing 2 quick inhales through the nose. Ready? And 1 long exhale through the mouth. Let's try that again. Let's do that 2 times. 2 quick inhales through the nose. 1 long exhale through the mouth. 2 quick inhales through the nose. 1 long exhale through the mouth. That's the physiological sigh. Before I explain it, what did you feel? For me, usually it relaxes my shoulders, which tends to stress or tense up. How about you? And Dexter, please share in the chat.
Yeah, relaxing, power of breath, grounded, alertness, lightens me up, calmer, slows me down. Alertness, amazing. You can see alertness and slowing down in the same exercise, isn't it?
Exactly. Right. So in 10 seconds, we just experience mind-body connection. So when you do the physiological sigh, if you see the slide, the brain has a vagus nerve and it is activated. And the vagus nerve, yes, has a big responsibility in calming us down, putting us in a good state to learn and to be open and to listen and to be present. So that's what we just did. And all it took was a few seconds, right? And that, I think, will set us up to learn better and for me to explain our very simple learning path for today. First, I'd like us to experience somatic regulation that creates crouching presence. We just did that through the physiological side. And I'd like us to explore some of the neuroscience behind transformation, right? Again, this all links to mind, body, and spirit connection. And we'll get into that later. And then finally, I'd like to share frameworks that we can apply tomorrow, things I've used myself. I invite you to try them. If it's useful for you, fantastic. Not so useful, then you can choose to not use it. But today we'll just share some of the things I've picked up and I've experienced to work well. So first, before we get into all of that, let's get aligned on what we mean by mind, body, and spirit, right? So when we say mind, today I'm going to talk about thoughts, beliefs, mental models, yes, even our biases, right? Because if you have a brain, you have a bias. So as coaches, we're very good at making sure we set our biases aside, honoring them, but setting them aside. When we speak of body today, we're going to refer to our sensations, our nervous system. So our central nervous system, our brain, and even our enteric nervous system, meaning our second brain, the gut, and then embodied wisdom, the wisdom we carry from all our experiences, the good ones, and even our trauma. And then spirit. When I say spirit, this could mean religion or beliefs around a greater entity. But perhaps there are people here who do not believe in religion or God. When we say spirit, we are talking about essence, our values, what we hold important to us as human beings, what makes us come alive, and what gives us energy. So I hope that settles what we mean by mind, body, and spirit. And so we bring our mind, body, and spirit into our sacred space. Like right here, right now, with 80 plus people in this virtual space, we're creating together our sacred space. And in our sacred space, this is a metaphor I like to use. We have three key areas: our mind courtyard, where our thoughts gather; our body foundation, what holds everything, the architecture; and our spirit sanctum, the essence within, the stuff we don't see but we know is important. When we honor all three, mind, body, spirit, that is when transformation happens. Sometimes, and this is something I had to deal with, and thank God for coaching training. I used to hang out a lot in my mind, really. I relied so much in my mind. But what coaching gave me as a gift was that ability and that reminder to really, as somebody had said earlier, think mind, feel body, feel spirit as well. And when you visit all these three parts of your sacred space, of your temple, that is when transformation happens. When we're only in our mind, we leave so much, and transformation may happen, but maybe just superficial. So let's expound a bit on that, right? If you look at these blocks, and if you think about the leaders you've coached, the teams you've coached, they have their truth, they have their vision, they have their purpose, they have their spirit. But sometimes it's in disarray. It's there, it's clear, but it's in disarray. So what do we aim to do? We aim to help them put these blocks together to create structural, what I like to call structural alignment. You're right. If you are a believer in systems thinking, our body, our spirit, our mind, this is also a system. And how we bring it into our organizations and our teams, this is also a system. So paying attention to mind, body, and spirit is the only way, I believe, that any of us, our clients, can create that temple. See that those blocks that created a temple. We have the building blocks, But oftentimes it's in disarray. The power of coaching, especially if we coach holistically, is it allows people to make sense of it and create a temple, like the temple of blocks you see. Okay. So now, speaking of the coherence and the structure, I bring you now to another somatic neuroscience collective experience. Now, I'd like us, this was a breathing technique developed by the Mind Heart Institute. Now, I would like to request, this is going to be a bit strange, for everyone. Nandani, I know you were asked to mute, but I would like you to unmute everyone. I'd like all of us to breathe together and put your volumes up. I'd like you to hear us breathe together, and I will lead you through this. I will admit, this is the first time I'm doing this virtually. So you are all guinea pigs in my little lab experiment. This is collective coherence breathing is something I've done with teams. And this has been very helpful, especially when there is conflict or where there is tension in the air. Collective coherence breathing. So, Nandani, is everyone unmuted?
Yeah. Nandini, please unmute everybody.
Yes.
Thank you.
So bear with me. We are going to inhale 5.5 seconds, exhale 5.5 seconds, and we will do 5 rounds all together. And I will cue you when to begin. So get comfortable in your seat, get ready to be a little weird, and we're going to do this. Nandani, thank you for unmuting everyone. And if you're ready, we'll inhale 5.5 seconds, inhale. Exhale. Again, inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. You can even close your eyes so you can listen. Inhale. Exhale. Again, inhale. Exhale. So, how did that feel? Nandani, we can now mute everybody. Let's see how my little experiment in collective coherent breathing translates in a non-face-to-face team coaching, or actually a masterclass. How did that feel? What did you notice in your body? And did you notice something with actually the field between us, even if it was a virtual field?
Refreshing, relaxing, energizing, uplifting. The body felt bigger, felt connected inside out, felt stress and worries draining out, mind paused for a moment. Collective experience, felt connected to others, enlarged, relaxed, and a bit sleepy.
Oh, good.
Nice.
Okay, good. So at least I was worried, of course. I've only done this in a team coaching situation, but I love that people still felt that connectedness in the virtual field.
So
And
you have energizing as well as sleepy in the same boat,
yes,
which
for
is
some of us, it was
so
sleep.
wonderful. Yeah.
For some of us, it was energizing. Okay, good. So again, we felt this is something you could try also when
So
you are having a meeting, to have a collective coherence breathing exercise together, and see what that brings to your meeting or to your team coaching. And let me know how that did. I'll send you my contact details later.
Nikka, a question has come in from Anuradha Sant, who says, do you
Yes.
inhale, exhale both through the nose or nose and mouth?
Oh, good question. Inhale through the nose and then exhale through the mouth. But I know sometimes some people are clogged up. So if you have to do both mouth and nose, that's also okay. But ideally, inhale through the nose and then exhale through the mouth. There. So I hope that answered your question.
Thank you.
It's
Thank you.
actually, something yoga traditions have been practicing for so long, and neuroscience has actually proven that it does help, right? So thank you. Okay. So more a bit on the neuroscience, right? So when we are in conversation with another or even in a group, what we just experienced, right? Somebody felt the connection within the field, if even if it was virtual. It's because mirror neurons fire up, right? This is why when someone yawns, you can't help but yawn yourself sometimes. Or when you see somebody getting hurt, you wince. These are our mirror neurons reacting to each other. And then interoception, as human beings, the internal signals that we actually feel that. It's just that sometimes when we're so stuck in our heads and we don't pay attention to our body, we forget interoception or we get in the way of our natural interoception. And what does this also do for us, especially in coaching? It encourages and fires up neural coupling. So, coach has neurons firing in her brain, client has neurons firing in his brain. When the connection and the energy flows between coach and client, neural coupling actually occurs, and they have already done MRI scans of people in actual coaching or therapeutic conversations, and their brain signals start.
So there's an interesting comment from Jai Shankar,
And
who says
right,
that teams that breathe together do better teamwork. It's a new perspective.
correct. And I've seen it. I've seen it in teams myself. So when we neural couple, this is something AI cannot do because AI doesn't have the same neurons as us. AI does not have interoception. It can coach at the PCC level, on a mind level, but it cannot really match your neurons. And this is when embodied cognition begins to shape our thinking and feeling. So, isn't it wonderful? Religions, ancient wisdom from yoga, they've already experienced it. And now scientific machines are capturing it. So I just, this thing is, I just find so amazing. And again, I feel so privileged as a coach because we experience this neuroscience every day that we coach. So there, our bodies know before our minds understand. Ancient wisdom knows it, and finally, science is catching up, right? Look at the slides. A mother with her child, two friends looking shocked, two friends laughing, two men, good friends, sharing a handshake, a couple sharing a laugh together, two friends laughing. Can you imagine all the neuroscience going on there? That when we pay attention not just to our mind, but to our body, our spirit, we are able to engage better with the other person or the other people in the room. And as Carl Jung said many years ago, before MRI scans, the meeting of two personalities is like the contact of two chemical substances. If there is any reaction, both are transformed. So again, it is not just our coaching client who is transformed, it is also us. So sit with that for a moment. And I'd like to invite you to really marvel at the wonder of being a coach. So, this brings me now to the three levels of listening, since we're all talking about mind, body, heart. First level mind, we listen to words and meaning. We're very good at that, I think, most of us. But as coaches, when we are trained to be coaches, now we are getting better at listening to energy and emotion as well. Cues, physical cues. And then, again, a benefit and a gift of coaching, we are taught to learn to listen to spirit, to what wants to emerge. So today is also an invitation to not just hang out with the mind and listen to the mind, but to also listen with the body and listen with your spirit. And another tool, translating that into a tool, this is a body scan tool, which you're probably practicing already yourselves. But today, since we are trying out stuff and doing things for ourselves, not just for a client, I'm going to invite you to do a body scan, right? Head, what thoughts are here? Heart, what emotions are present? Gut, what does instinct say? So I'd like to offer a space of silence again for you to think. What thoughts are bubbling up in your head right now? And just observe, don't judge. I will not be offended. Your thoughts are not on the topic and they're on something else. In fact, whatever that thought, and acknowledging that thought now, pay attention to your heart. What emotions are present? What are you feeling around those thoughts? What are you even feeling around hearing me? Finally, gut. What is your instinct saying? At any point, if I'd like to invite share a word or
So the head says excitement, heart gratitude for you, gut is anticipation. That's from Aniket. Satyajit says emotional about some
thank you.
coaching. Preeti says what wants to emerge, very powerful. The power of silence to enable the space for emergence. Varsha says heart, feeling gratitude and joy. Head, my thoughts are on aligning mind, body, spirit. So that's very cognitive kind of thing. I must do this.
Wonderful.
Yeah, my head is how to capture the notes at the moment so that we don't miss out on what you're saying. My heart is saying, oh my gosh, I'm not listening. Am I missing something while I'm trying to listen? And my gut is saying, no, 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 you've got to do this.
Well, a reminder, Dexter, he's very good at being very helpful. He will send you the slides. So if you don't capture everything, that's fine.
Yeah.
But thank you for sharing that. And I hope you enjoyed that bit of a body scan, right? And, I just love having to be able to do this for ourselves because we often offer this to our clients. But what about us, right? Today is about us. Okay. So I will share now 5 somatic coaching moves that I've used in my own practice. And I'd like to invite you to try it with your own clients or even conversations with your family or your children and see for you. That would be interesting too, right? Your own spirit of being somatic. Um, the pause and breathe. This is something when I coach and I pay attention to my own body, not just the client's body, I've actually asked a client, I noticed my breathing change when you said that, when you told me that story. What are you aware of? And I've had a lot of very when I brought about the. And sometimes I don't even ask, what are you aware of? I just say, boy, I noticed my breathing change when you mentioned that. And I leave it there. And there's a long silence, but the gold that comes out of it is perhaps you might try it in your own practice. Another one I try, I call it, the coaches were trained to not just listen to the words. Something you can try is, I've used this myself. There's a certain sigh I hear when you talk about him. Leave it at that. And again, there's a long silence. And again, gold comes out of it. Or sometimes I say, and this just happened last week, when you talk about your son, you always look up. I noticed that. You always look up. So I was saying another somatic move that you can try is called the gesture gateway. So an observation I would share is there is a certain sigh I hear when you talk about him. And I don't even attach a question, but sometimes after a long pause, something happens. And I don't know if you missed my story, but last week, a client, he kept looking up when he would talk about his son. And I just pointed that out. Every time you talk about him, you look up. And there was a long silence, and that changed the goal of the conversation to something that was actually more important than his original goal. So that's another somatic coaching move. I like to call it name that energy. So when I'm talking to a client, your energy shifted when you started talking about your daughter or when you started talking about that. And making them notice that their own energy also, again, has brought a lot of breakthrough moments for me and my coaching clients. And number 4, another thing I do is a body check. I love this question. When they're talking about something that is making them quite emotional, whether it's in the negative or in the positive or in somewhere in between, I ask, where do you feel that in your body? Right? Because I'm pretty sure a lot of you, one of your frustrations with your coaches, your clients is they're always in their heads, right? And so this is a great question to bring them down to their body. We all love the questions as coaches. How does that make you feel? It's a great question. That's a standby question of all of us coaches. But I think what's been working for me more effectively lately is, where do you feel that in your body? Just so I remind the client, or I'm able to bring the client from their head to their body. So that's what I call that the body check move. And finally, this is another somatic move, similar to body check. It's the embodiment invitation. What do you notice in your body talking about that? What do you notice in your body when you're thinking about him or thinking about her or thinking about your team? So again, an invitation to think holistically. And I know some of you are going to say, oh, some of my clients, it's so hard. They're just so stuck in their heads. But if you patiently invite them and maybe they don't go today, what is that telling you as a coach? What do you need to sit with as a coach if they're not open to that invitation? And what might you do and try next time? So 5 somatic coaching moves. Don't worry, Dexter will be sharing you the slides. Okay, so I hope you try some of those moves in your coaching and let me know how that worked for you. And so I'm going to talk to you about a client, not her real face, of course, not her real name. Elena, this particular client of mine, she is fantastic at strategy, but she struggles with delegation. And through coaching and through paying attention to her body, she found that she tends to hold her breath when asking for help. So when we brought that awareness, when she accepted my invitation to pay attention to her body, she noticed she holds her breath when asking her for help. And her key realization, I see asking for help as weakness. and what she gained embodied strength. So I'm paying tribute to my client Elena because today she exemplifies mind. And so I'm telling you Elena's story, her mind story. And then we now go back to creating sacred space. This again is another tool I invite you to try. Sunrise, noon, and sunset. So the invitation is really just to do the physiological sigh at the start of a session, maybe on your own or at some point with a client if they are open to your invitation. Noon, what needs attention today? So another way of goal setting, instead of what is your goal today, but what needs attention today? And there's a little bit of a subtle invitation again to think mind, body, and spirit. And then the sunset is, as usual, we end with coach, as usual, as coaches know, we end with what are you taking with you? So that's a little model on how to create a sacred space on your own or with a client. Sunrise, noon, and sunset. So again, as Maleha said, this is our time for ourselves to be present and to be kind to ourselves. I'm going to invite you again to be with yourself and to savor yourself on this Saturday. We will do our own sacred practice. So I'll run through everything I'm going to ask you to do before we actually do it. We'll do the physiological sigh. We'll do a body scan, head, heart, and gut. And then I'll invite you to ask yourself what needs attention at this moment. And then I'll invite you to listen with mind, body, and spirit when answering that question. And then finally, I hope you have a pen and paper near you. Just journal one insight, something for yourself. You don't have to share it unless you want to later. So are we ready to do that? Spend a minute. Again, we will be quiet all together, creating our own sacred practice and then creating this really beautiful room together. So I invite you all to start with a physiological sigh. Okay. I hope that served you well. If you can share an insight that came up, something you're willing to share, you can share it on the chat.
So Suman says, I need to pay attention to resolving the dissonance in my priorities. The dissonance keeps me on the hamster wheel in my head and heart. Need to change that. Chitra says, really powerful and engaging session. Thank you. Thoroughly facilitating in involving all parts of the psyche in the here and now. Your calm, engaging presence held the space. Satyajit felt like dancing. Rahul
Oh,
felt blissful. Vijayanti was all over the place like a yo-yo. Shankar says, we saw, heard, spoke, thought, felt, wrote, breathed. Isn't this holistic? What is holistic then? It's great. A great check-in. Felt like water. Wow.
interesting.
Flowing.
It's
Ground,
amazing, Dexter, how different the experience was for everyone, right?
isn't
But
it? Isn't it?
but
Grounding,
very
aligning.
nurturing.
Amazing. Yeah, you definitely triggered a storm here, Nikka. A beautiful storm. A
A
beautiful
beautiful
storm.
storm. I'm happy to. And we have a few more minutes. So we will continue with the story of Marcus, right? So Marcus, I just want to share again, not his real name and not his real face, but he is a client who um let's just say is very reactive. Um in fact, his own family and his own uh, team said he had anger issues. But how was he able to get past that? Body awareness. Again, listening to his own body, paying attention to breathing before responding, and making more of an effort to be quiet rather than his usual talkative self to sense the energy in the room. Again, he is a great story of how holistic coaching can really transform you, right? And Marcus was an intimidating figure. Like, oh no, I don't know if Marcus is going to he might bite my head off if I invite him to do these woo-woo things like breathing, but he really embraced it. And I look at him fondly now, and I'm so proud that even just being aware of his body again made such a big difference in his reactivity. Now he is just more responsive rather than reactive. So Marcus is my tribute to the body, and his story is my body story for you today. So another tool I'm going to share, I call it the 333 protocol. A personal thing I do, 3 breaths before each session. That's part of my ritual as a coach. And I do specifically the physiological side, but you can do what other kind of yogic breath work probably that works for you, or any kind of breath work. And then I do check-ins for myself. How's my mind? How's my body? How's my spirit? And then 3 minutes after a coaching session, I always integrate what emerged for the client and for me. Always, I make it a point to honor not just the experience of the client but my own experience. So this is something I do. I call it my own 333 protocol. Use it if you wish. It might be helpful for you. And if there are particular clients that I'm very close to already, or I have a long engagement with them, I actually bring the 333 protocol to our sessions where we do the breaths together if they're into it. And then I do a check in with them because they already understand well, how's your mind, how's your body, how's your spirit, just like what we had experienced earlier. And then, of course, like any coaching conversation, we end with what emerged for you. So, again, the 333 protocol is something you can practice personally as a coach on your own, or it's something you can bring into your conversation. There. And again, notes are going to come to you courtesy of Dexter. Another tool. Okay, how many more? Yeah, we're good on time. I'm checking our time. Another tool that I've used on clients and also myself, it's called the belief audit. You know, when sometimes you say, oh, I have to, oh, I should, or oh, I can't. Pay attention to one of those. Maybe you just want to pay attention to I have to, or I should, or I can't. When a client, okay, where did this belief audit tool of mine come from? Clients often ask, yeah, I can't. And then my question, my response to her, I can't, is, says who? Says who? And those two words are so powerful, because I've experienced many breakthrough moments wherein that voice in their head that says I can't, and I ask them, says who? 99.9% of the time, it's actually not their voice. It's somebody else's voice. And again, as coaches, I'm pretty sure you can imagine the magnitude of that brings to a client when you challenge them with a question like, says who? So I extrapolated that tool, that powerful question, two-word question I ask that client, and I use it as a belief audit, as a tool. Like sometimes it's homework I give to a client. I noticed today there's a lot of I shouldn't around this, I shoulds around this. When you catch yourself saying that particular phrase in the next 2 weeks before I see you, can you ask yourself, says who? And let me know what comes up for that. So that's another tool I'm leaving you with today. So try it out and see. And then finally, another client I'd like to honor in this presentation, Sarah. Sarah is my spirit tribute. Sarah is amazing at what she does. She's highly successful, but she reached a point in her career where she says, I'm losing energy, I'm losing excitement, I'm getting all the praise, I'm getting all the money, but I'm not happy. Such a typical story, right? And so we dug deep into that. So she originally, her coaching goal was, well, how can I get my energy back? But what she was actually losing was excitement. This is not my realization, this was hers. And that excitement came from realizing that what really excited her about her work was not the money she was earning, was not the fact that she was so well known at being strategic or being a problem solver. It's when she started paying more attention to developing others, right? She's not a coach, she's not even in HR, but during coaching, she realized, I'm really excited when I create growth opportunities for others. So her energy came back to her work when she paid more attention to having more conversations with people in her team around their own development, their own growth. Not just professional, but personal. So Sarah, I'm paying tribute to Sarah for her spirit. So I have Elena to thank for the mind component, Marcus for the body, and Sarah for the spirit. So I end with Sarah and her spirit, but we don't end completely yet. I think, Dexter, we have time to break out for, about 10 minutes into our wisdom circles. So before Dexter and Nandani break you out into groups of 3, I'm going to explain what's going to happen in the room.
Nikka, maybe 5 minutes, because you'd need some time after that. And we kind of got 10 minutes left.
Oh, okay, sure. All right. 5 minutes then. So you will introduce yourselves quickly and then share reflections on these 3 things. One insight that landed deeply for you, one practice you'll try, and one question you're holding. No pressure to answer. So give each other about a minute to share. Total time together will be 5 minutes. Is that okay? Ready to break out?
Nandini, how many do you want in a room, Nikka?
3 in a room, and you
3.
don't have to include me. but 3 in a room would be fantastic.
Great.
If we have an odd number, even number, you can have 1 room in 4, but ideally 3.
I put 3.
3.
Should I open the room?
Yes.
Yes, you can do that.
So people, please take a photo. 1 insight that landed, 1 practice you will try, 1 question you're holding. Maybe take a photo of the screen so you bring it with you in the breakout. Welcome back. I'm glad that we were able to give you an experience, a more intimate experience with each other. And I hope you enjoyed that more intimate sacred space with each other. And I just like to end today with a quote from Kabir. The river that flows in you also flows in me. The river that flows in you also flows in me. So again, it's a reminder from Kabir, ancient wisdom now proven by neuroscience, that we don't transform on our own. We transform with other people, with another human in front of us. And thank you for being the fellow humans with me in today's sacred space. I felt very courageous in sharing my knowledge today, because I felt such a sacred space of other beautiful human beings. Thank you for organizing this, Sandeep, Dexter. I now bring back the floor to you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. And
Absolutely. We'd
yes, and
love to stay connected. Yes, please.
yes, please. I forgot. These are my contact details. We'll also share it in the PDF, along with some suggested reading. If you really want to learn more and explore more about holistic coaching. And that's it. Thank you, ICF Mumbai, and everybody else, and my Filipino fellow coaches.
Thank you again, Nikka. When you started out, you talked about sacred spaces, and I didn't really know how sacred this was going to be. It's been wonderful. You talked about sacred intention for today, and I definitely know what yours was. To fill us with the wisdom of these sacred spaces and holding mind, body, and spirit awareness in coaching. Do you know how many points of reflection you've given us and framework? I don't think you counted, but there are at least 12. I've listed them here on my notebook. And the first one was so powerful. When did the client's breakthrough change something in you? I think that was such a wonderful starting point for you to tell us that this is not about us doing something for the client, but the client doing something back for us, even not knowing it, because of what we do. The physiological side, this is a new term, but an interesting practice, and you've brought in the vagus nerve that's being talked about so much these days. The learning path, the somatic regulation, understanding neuroscience, and applying the framework where you bring mind, body, and spirit together to the sacred space. And this wonderful thing that you have put together, the mind courtyard, the body foundation, and the spirit sanctum. I think these are wonderful coinages of words. This is something that we're going to remember. You've made it so easy. I mean, there's so many. The alignment principle, to experience collective coherence with the 5.5, 5.5, 5 rounds of breathing. You've talked about neuroscience, which is very important to talk about, and the mirror neurons. And that's why we feel this river that flows in you also flows in me is the mirror neuron that is bringing the river through us. And interoception is not talked about much these days, but it's something important to understand, because through that neurocoupling happens, as you've mentioned. And this embodied cognition that shapes thinking and feeling, in which you have said something very powerful. Our bodies know before our minds understand what has happened. And I think that's something that we need to remember, as you know, in this whole holistic framework, where you've also talked about the levels of listening, the body scan tool, the 5 somatic coaching moves. This was really nice. The pause and breathe, the gesture, gateway, name that energy. If you don't name it, you will not be able to either claim it or tame it. The body checks, the embodiment invitation. Wow. Just reflecting on this, I'm feeling amazed. The 333 protocol, before, during, and after. What a wonderful way to go about that, and to kind of bring all this into a nutshell. And the belief audit: I have to, I should, I can't, and who says? That's such a powerful 2-word question to ask. Thank you for helping us with the alignment principle, the truth, vision, purpose, and spirit of holistic coaching. You really made that come alive for us. I can't thank you enough, but I will stop here and I will allow others to say something. So Jaishankar says, look, you have a bestseller author inside of you. Is that a well-kept secret, Nikka? Oh dear. Anybody wants to unmute and say something, please feel free at this point of time. I think, Nikka, you've done such an outstanding job. Our minds are still dazed.
Hi,
Yeah, please.
it's Suman here again. I keep piping up, but Nikka, I really need to thank you for, building the credibility of body work for me, because I was a skeptic. But I think it can be useful now for me to work on that for myself. So thank you for building that credibility. And I think the belief audit is probably the most powerful tool that I have come across, because I do believe that those are the derailers for most of us. So again, thank you for that.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Nikka, thank you for this. I'm sorry, did I jump? I just raised my hand and hoped there would be nobody ahead of
I
me.
think
Don't worry,
Aniket was before you.
Sure,
Aniket?
I'll pause.
It's
pause.
okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead. What is Aniket
Is that
sitting
okay?
here? Yeah.
No,
Go
you
ahead,
can go ahead.
Vijayanti,
You
go
may
ahead.
go ahead, Vijay.
All right, thank you. I apologize because I couldn't see who else may have raised their hands. Nikka, thank you so much. I think, this has churned a lot, and it's bothering me that I have to grapple with so many new thoughts that are emerging after this conversation, which is probably what your intent was. I do have one question, Nikka. In your experience, have you seen cultural differences in the way people respond to these bodily cues? Or is that something that we could consider as another conversation at some other point in time? Cultural cues uh, for some of us coaches. Yeah.
Wonderful question. Yes, because I've coached across cultures, and of course there are differences around communication. But in my own little data set, I have noticed that it is certain personalities that it is easier to introduce body work or body awareness. So it's not really certain cultures, but certain types of people are more open to it than others. So that's what I have noticed. And if it, I don't know why, Vijayante, but it inspired me to say something about now the ICF has updated their core competencies, where the coach is supposed to share knowledge, like observations, and then they added that one word, knowledge. And I know some coaches got prickly about that because, oh, we're coaches, we don't want to, you know, you skate a thin line if you say share knowledge, right? Like maybe I'll share my expertise in media or journalism, but this is the safest thing. This is the safest knowledge you can share: body awareness. Because whether you're from India or the Philippines or wherever, when you ask people to pay attention to their bodies, it's sort of universal, right? And it's not me being an expert in media, because that I will try to avoid, right? But it's really me asking, how, what is your body saying when you. So I hope that was helpful. Thank you. Great question.
I think Aniket, you could.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Nikka. What can I say? Lots of gratitude. And like somebody said earlier, I was also a skeptic as far as the somatic aspect of coaching was concerned. But I think it brought about a great shift in how I look at it, because I could feel in my gut while the session was going on, and I could sense that shift happening inside me. What also is notable for me is the way coaching presence or coach's presence has changed after today's session. I look at the coach and the client as a part of the same team instead of one coaching the other. So that cohesion and togetherness is something that really stood out for me throughout the session. I had one question, however, as far as the 5 somatic coaching moves. You mentioned the first one, which was the pause and breathe. Uh, and the question was, I noticed my breathings, and I understand this as the coach saying it. I noticed my breathing change when you said that. What are you aware of? So here, something that the coach is noticing about themselves and sharing it with the client and asking a follow-up question regarding that was something absolutely new for me. I'd love for you to speak a couple of lines on this uh, first point in somatic moves.
Oh, sure. And thank you for the. It's really that river that Kabir talked about, right? The river flows between you and me. So oftentimes, as coaches in our training, we're really so client focused, and we still should be client focused. But my invitation today is to bring our own presence, to kind of be more intentional about paying attention to our own bodies in that course of the river flowing between each other. So that's been the pause and breathe has been so powerful, because when I use my body as an antenna to a client, my body never lets me down. It doesn't. And sometimes they're agitated, or I feel it. And
Yes.
it helps me cope, right? Because as coaches, we can't get dragged down by the feeling. And so when I also verbalize that brings so much knowledge to the client. And it also makes them realize their energy um, leaks into other people. So I have one
Yes.
client who said, when you ask me that, I realized how I enter the room affects my team, my family, even if you're not saying anything. So that's one thing why that was my number one somatic move that I shared. I hope that was helpful.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you for answering that, Nikka.
You've said something, Nikka, that another speaker said some time back about what season do you bring? As a coach, what season do you bring to the room and what season do you meet in the room? And I'm hearing you say the same thing in so many different words, but they kind of, all aligned.
Yes,
So
Dexter. As coaches, we're always, well, at least me in my experience, as afraid to bring myself. I'm afraid to bring my expertise to share my knowledge. But when I became less afraid of that, when I gave a bit more of myself, it really transformed my coaching, I think.
we have time for one more question. So I see 4 hands are up. The people will have to, I think, come to Manila. Uh, and
Connect with me on LinkedIn, send
but
me a note,
yes, can we take
email
one
me.
one question? Who you can decide who wants to say
Varsha? Varsha.
Okay.
I keep seeing Varsha's face.
Oh, thank you. Well, I have a ask. I must say this, the interaction over the last hour has left me wanting more and more. Yeah, I can say, yeah, I'm feeling a little greedy, if I may call myself. Right. Yeah. So a request, my question to both ICF Mumbai and to you, Nikki, is when can we have some more of things like this? That's all I wanted to say. Thank you for what we've received today, but that's all I had to share. Thank you.
Oh, wonderful.
Thank you,
Varsha,
Varsha.
you have brought into the spirit sanctum this sacred space of the sunlight, noon, and sunset. And we know clearly what you are taking away or what you want all of us to take away. Thank you so much for that, Nikka. With those lovely words, we are very reluctantly saying goodbye for now. But as Varsha said, not forever.
Not forever. ICF Philippines and ICF Mumbai, this is not going to be the
Yes.
last.
So I'm going to ask Nandini to present us with 2 certificates of appreciation. Nikka, this was one for you, and we can't thank you enough. If we could frame it in gold. And one which you must, I think Maria is on the call, right? So this is for the Philippines chapter. Thank you so much for supporting us and for nudging Nikka to come and do this for us. Thank you very much. ICF Philippines, we appreciate you. Yes. Back to you. Thank you again. So now we have a bit of a break to take.
I'll take 1 minute.
Yes, Sanjeev. Yes.
Nikka, first of all, thank you very much. I think we've been in collaboration with 12 chapters, and every time we try and bring some new chapter on board and the best from the chapters of those respective chapters. And I'm really happy to see that Dexter and Sandeep have brought the best from Philippines. But I know there are many more behind, and Nikka, you're going to be our bridge to bring more people from Philippines for us.
Oh,
So,
yes.
And
Sanjeev,
Sanjeev
the
is
other
the
coaches, they're better than me.
Sanjeev is the one who started the conversation with ICF Philippines.
Yes.
Fantastic. Leia Ungson will make sure that there'll be others ICF Philippines coaches
Yes.
working closely with Mumbai.
Yeah, we will love to listen to more of the people from different culture, different nationalities, different ideas. And believe me, every time I personally hear it, I think I always feel that there's many, many more things to learn from the rest of the world. And I think every time one more gate gets open for me, and same is here. And thank you, Nikka, for bringing it, the new dimension to me and the rest of the audience here. Thanks, Akram.
And now we need the group
I
picture.
also take 1 minute more, I mean, hardly 30 seconds.
Yeah.
This is about, I'm going to post one of the QR code. This is about a survey which is started first time in the world for South Asia. The lead has been taken by ICF Pune chapters in India, and rest of the 6 more chapters, that is altogether 7 chapters in India. They have started for South Asia survey supported by ICF Global. Kindly scan the barcode and please do a survey. Give your opinion, because this is going to be first of its kind. We see a lot of surveys coming from the westward, and this time the first time from the eastern side, which is going to be useful for all of us. So please spare maybe 10 minutes and just give your feedback, and you'll get the copy for the same. Thank you very much. I will be posting. Stay back. I may be very slow in doing this, but I hope to play with this IT stuff, and maybe I can do it fast. But let me try. Thank you very much, and stay back.
So Dexter, now the photograph.
Yep. Go ahead.
Group photograph.
group photograph. And by the way, I have posted both the morning presentations on the chat. So you can scroll back, trace it, and download it.
The QR code is here on the screen, and please do scan it if you can see it.
Right. Group photos, everybody. Big smiles. Nandini, are you ready? Hi, Nandini. Are you reflecting in your sacred space?
Hold on.
There you go. Okay.
Yeah.
PPTs will come. So maybe
They already
after.
posted.
Yeah. But
Both
people
are
are still
posted.
asking. So
Scroll back
Yeah,
a bit, then you will find both.
already
Hold on,
there,
please.
Tarun. Yeah.
1 more minute.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Done. Thank you so much.
So see you everybody in a few minutes, 15 minutes or so. We have this wonderful fireside chat coming up.